Hello YouTube. Alright, today's video is just going to be a very simple one, which a lot of you have these little amplifiers, the RM Italy KL203 and the 203P with the preamp. What we're just going to, it's a very quick video. I'm just going to show you how to fit an 80mm fan to the top of this device, so that when you turn on the amplifier, the light turns on and the fan operates. And when you turn the preamp on, nothing happens. All right? It's very, very simple. You can do it. All right, I can't disconnect this totally, but we're just going to show you how this operates. Now, the first thing that we need to do is drill a hole through the second fin up the back, which is this one here. Okay, I used and you can see it come out of the bottom of the board there. Now, for the purpose of this, I removed the whole board. But if you're very, very careful, there's no need to do that. You just need to obviously blow out the amplifier afterwards. You don't want any metal shavings in there. All right, so the first thing that needs to be done is I've used the screws that are supplied with this fan, and they don't entirely line up with the fins on here. So what I did was with the soldering iron tip, I melted the holes and moved the holes closer to the middle. So as you can see there, the holes have moved around about 3mm each closer to the middle. Now you have to be very careful because there's 4 LEDs and the wires run down here and down here. This one's the worst, near the fan, near the hole, and over to there. Now some people I've noticed on the internet drill holes and put cable ties through here. This really isn't necessary. All right, so we move this over. We've got the screws in. We line it up. And the pressure of, if you get your gaps right, screwing the case screws down, it will hold it in place. I'll show you in a second. All right, that's back on top. Now, if we have a look down here, you can see how the screws are slightly angled and they're grabbing the fins. Now, if this is not, if I'm not happy with this over time, I'm actually just going to use a modeling technique, and I'm going to get some modeling plastic, cut it to shape, slide it into the fin, drill holes in each of those before I do that, and then screw a self-tapper straight down into it, and the expansion of the plastic will hold that in place. It only has to be 10mm long and about 10mm high, and you put a washer on top of the self-tapper and you just snug them up. You don't over tighten them, just like these. The other thing that you do need to do is this channel down the back there where the cable goes, I had to make that slightly bigger. All right, now we'll flip it over and I'll show you how we've wired this up. All right, for those of you who have not removed one of these cases before with the RM Italy, they are a press fit case. So this panel here slides in, and it's got 2 perforations, one on that side and one on that side, and it's an interference fit, so it clamps down into the slide. So what you need to do is, well, it comes to you like that, and how I originally did this was just very carefully lifted the just like that. All right, so we slide that out, and that shows you the interior of this little amplifier. All right, I'm still going through. I've had to do a few little repairs on this amp. The input relay let go. When I first started operating this, it actually locked on. It's of no fault of anybody I bought it from. It's just for some reason this relay let go and that capacitor there let go. And then because I didn't pick that up, it blew all the 4 MOSFETs on this side. So I've still got to replace this capacitor here. And I think there's one more, that big one there, the 500 volt, and that's a 750. And then we should be fine. All right, so what do? On the wires, you get 3 wires in the on the fan. You're only using 2 of them, just the positive and negative. When you get the fan, isolate which wire is not needed, and then all you're doing is you're taking, they're all black. So what you do is one of the wires, I don't think we can pick it up here. Oh, just slightly. One of the wires obviously has a very light grey mark on it, which is the negative, which is there. And what you're going to do, and it is so easy, but you just need to be careful about it, that's all. All right, we're going to solder one wire to the negative terminal on the middle switch, and it's at the bottom. All right, here we go, that's a better one. So I've pre-tinned and then soldered it to the bottom. That's the positive. The negative you're going to solder to the top of the first pin, which is an open ground, which is there on continuously on. And that's all there is to it. And then tuck the wire out of way. And I'm going to just put a tiny bit of wax on that, and it's going to be done. On a second note, if you've overdriven this amp and you blow a fuse, this is a 12 amp fuse that's in here. What you can do is if you do blow that, these can be hard to find. What you can do is you can use a mini bladed fuse, like so, and solder to the top of the fuse. Okay, and that's actually a 15 amp, but that will solve all your problems. All right, so where there's a will, there's a way. Obviously, when you do that, just make sure that you're pushing it down when you're putting the cover back on. And there you have it, a nice little modification. This cost all up, I think it was $14.90. I got the fan in Australia. It came from Sydney. I've got something special coming as a fan cover for this. My recommendation is always to go a brushless fan. That way they are quiet. You do hear a tiny bit of CFM moving. Hopefully you can hear that, but it's actually not a great deal at all. All right, and again, you can put the preamp on, that's your earth switch. And there we go. When that's operational, it should be something, I don't know, what is it, about 150 to 180 watts on SSB or something, which I'm using, or intention is on 10 meters. All right, so we turn that off, and this is the SBE radio. I would just show you the preamp. So it's with the preamp on. Preamp off. This radio's just been aligned and TX tuned, and it's just going back on the shelf. Bit of an experimentation, for those that are SBE enthusiasts, you notice how quiet, or actually how dull these displays are. I've updated these with LEDs in order to get this so bright, and I've started doing this with radios. I've actually removed, just at the bottom of the meter, the opaque filter, which actually dulls the light right down, but the byproduct of that is it's very hard to read the display, so even still. So as you can see now, very clear, and for those of you who are getting on in a few years, it's actually very easy to operate, versus the incandescent bulbs which they used in these, and these days they're very, very dull. All right, hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to post a couple of more videos on this little amplifier as I keep working on it. I've got some, as I said earlier, something else special to put on the top of it, and I'll show you more when I have more. Remember, you can do it, and enjoy the hobby. Bye-bye.